Facebook. How's everybody doing out there?
Well, today we got to hang out today. We went to Kennedy's field day. Have y'all noticed, like, field day with the kids is not the same as when we had field day?
It's wickety whack.
Our field day, we barbecued. Everybody was outside. Everybody did field day together. Now it's like field days.
Yeah.
Kennedy School, yes, Kennedy School has had field day all week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as competitive as it used to be. It's just like everybody go out there and have fun.
It's participation.
It was fun competing, right?
Yeah. And I think that's one of the big things too that kids need to focus on is being able to, I know when we was kids, we went outside, we rode bikes and all that kind of cool stuff. And, you know, your mom put you out the house at sun up and tell you don't come back till the street lights come on, basically. Mm-hmm. And stop going in and out the house, the door. But anyway, but it was fun though. Kennedy really enjoyed us coming out and spending time with her. And man, they had a party out of this world.
Oh yeah, in the classroom.
Yeah, man. Kennedy had pizza, Oreo cookies, Chips Ahoy cookies. What else? Popsicles.
Yeah.
It was just a ton of stuff.
They were full of sugar.
Yeah, and after that, they still went to lunch.
Sean was hating on me though, because you know I like to play with the kids where they were going skating or whatever. So you know I wanted to play a little basketball and.
Oh boy. Okay, Tara was popping J's on me. I had a couple bricks and some air balls, and she was hitting J's from the 3-point line all net.
That's right.
Whoopie doo. But
he didn't like that I'm athletic. He can't deal with it.
It was fun though. Then we picked Caden up. Caden missed his field day. His field day was last week because, as a lot of you guys know, Caden was sick last week and still kind of overcoming now. But he couldn't participate. But he wasn't too bothered by it though. He's just ready for the last day of school.
He was like, just take me to Zaxby's. And guess what he asked me, y'all, before we logged on? Mommy, how would your life be if you didn't have any joints? I swear he gets weirder by the day.
That's my boy. That's my boy. But anyway, today on Heritage Family TV, we want to talk to everybody about marriage. I think that's a good topic to talk about. And I don't think anybody have a perfect marriage. You know, you and I talked last week. Tara, she comes from a house that was a divorce home. How old were you when your parents?
3. So I really don't remember them even being together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I grew up with different views on marriage. Like I really didn't know like how a wife's supposed to be, how a husband's supposed to be. I just, you know, you see what you see on TV or from other families. So I've always just done what I thought wives do, you know. Wives cook for their husbands. Wives take care of their kids. And Sean comes from a background where his parents are still married. And so even with raising kids, like my father was in the home with me. And so I didn't even realize till I met Sean and moved in with him and I saw him interact with our kids. And I was like, wow, this is what I missed.
Yeah, Mom and Dad, they will be hitting 51 years this year. And like Tara said, that's what I come from as far as what I know. So actually when I divorced, it was like trauma to me because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how Kennedy would cope with that. I think Kennedy was 3 years old when I divorced, when we started the separation process anyway. So that was also a big concern of mine. And, you know, I just loved on her the way my parents loved on me for all these years and everything. And just kind of, you know, throw the mud on the wall and see what sticks. So what we want to talk to you guys today about is just things about marriage, a little bit about parenting. And we got a couple that we're going to invite probably in the next couple weeks. Y'all going to love them. It's our best friends, Reggie and Rolanda. And the cool part about the dynamics of this, that particular show we'll do is that we are all blended family. We're all divorced before. And so there's a total, if we include our kids, their kids, we're talking about 10 kids.
Is it?
9 or 10 kids. So, so that's a lot of kids. That's like the Brady Bunch. And we just kind of talk about, you know, how we function through different time spans that we have, particular children and so forth like that. So that's going to be a really good show that we're going to do. So we're just going to kind of scratch the tip of the iceberg today a little bit and just kind of get you guys warmed up for that show. That's going to be a great one when we do that. So what do you want to start off talking about?
Just the blended family aspect, how we manage it, how we cope, the kids cope, because sometimes it doesn't always work out. Like sometimes, okay, well, first let me start with this. Kennedy's is Sean's. I have an older son, DJ, and then Kaden is ours together. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes there are things that, you know, Sean and Kennedy's mom might not agree on, or me and DJ's mom might not agree on. And so...
Who's DJ's mom?
I said that wrong?
Yeah. DJ's dad.
Okay, so...
I messed you up, didn't I?
Yes, you did. But as far as Kennedy, she's here every other week. So we spend half her time's here, half of her time's there. DJ, he's a little older and he lives on a different side of town, so he's with his dad during the week. He's here on weekends, spring break, holidays, things like that. And so,
and Kaden just stuck in the middle.
Yeah, sometimes he gets lonely because neither of the kids are here. But we work it out. Yeah. One of the topics now really is schooling. Like, Sean has a different view than Kennedy's mom, and you can talk about how y'all are working through that.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. We actually use Kennedy's mom's address for her schooling. That was part of our agreement. And she just recently moved out of the county that we all resided in. So now Kennedy is going to a school in a different county. I actually went to the orientation last week just to kind of get a feel for the school, which I don't like it. We've made a decision that this coming up school year, Kaden is going to be homeschooled. And of course we wanted to homeschool Kennedy as well. But her mom is more of the traditional schooling and just some other dynamics that we'll get into in other shows as far as why she doesn't want to elect to let her participate in homeschool with us. But, you know, Kaden is a little creature kind of like me, where the way he thinks, I can relate to him totally. You know, his ideology is, why go to school for an entire day from, 8 to 3 when things can be accomplished in 2 or 3 hours a day? And, you know, I'm in kind of the same mindset. So that's what we're looking at this year. But the conflict we're having is that Kennedy doesn't think it's fair that Kaden gets to homeschool, of course, and she has to go to school next year. So that's something we're still kind of working out right now amongst the parents. So I think that's the biggest challenge there with the schooling part.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's business, because as you know, Kennedy has her own business called K-Lock. And there's sometimes where events fall on the weeks she's not here. Mm-hmm. And sometimes her mother doesn't want to share her time.
Yeah. So, and as we talked about too before, you know, when you're in a divorce situation, blended family, whatever, you know, we always put the kids first. At least on this side, in this household, we always put the kids first. And, you know, if it's something for Kennedy's business, if it's a week that her mom have it in, of course, I would ask her if she'll let her participate. It's kind of a 50-50, just depending on which way the wind blows, if she'll let her participate or not. So that's why a lot of times you guys see that there may be events where there's Kaden's only at that event. That's typically going to be a weekend where Kennedy is with her mom. But
as far as our dynamics with DJ, he's older. He'll be 16 this year. And so I think he's like, I think all kids still want their own parents to be together. And so sometimes with Sean, he's like iffy. Sometimes he comes over, he's just like, what's up? Sometimes he's open and he talks. He wants to go on trips. Sometimes he doesn't even want to go on trips with us. I think he feels like if he gets too close to Sean, then it's kind of like betraying his daddy. And so that's the other thing about a blended family. Yeah. Just like getting everybody to feel like a family.
Yeah. And that's understandable though.
Yeah.
Definitely understandable. And like with Kaden, like yesterday, Kaden had, well, it was Mother's Day, so Kennedy spent most of the day with her mom. And Kaden was just bored out of his mind. He was actually in her room playing with her little pink Barbie car with his wrestling man. So it's just a process, you know, a process that we go through as far as being able to communicate. And I think that's the biggest thing, is communicate. And I remember when I was growing up, we used to have family meetings where my parents sat down and talked to all the kids. We just had a weekly meeting. Just talk about whatever. Finances, where the family vision was, what was expected over the next couple of weeks, finances. So that's something we are working on now, is just getting everybody to communicate their feelings, be open about stuff and so forth like that. And I think that helps the dynamics to stay smooth running when it comes to family.
Okay, I want you guys to answer a question. Here's a question that me and a lot of other blended families had this past week. Mother's Day. Should the father help get the Mother's Day gift if y'all are separated? Or what? Help me ask my question.
Basically what she want to know is, from a woman's point of view, should a man buy a gift for the ex or the child's mother? Mm-hmm. So I guess that's the question.
That's the question. That's how it is.
There it is.
Because me and one of my friends had a conversation, and she's in a blended family. She said, well, I think that the man should still tell that woman Happy Mother's Day and do what they're supposed to do, because no matter what, that's still the mother. What do you think?
I told her Happy Mother's Day.
Well, there's been times I've actually helped Kennedy pick out a gift for her mother. It's about Kennedy. It's not about the grown-ups. And if she feels like she wants to get her mother a gift, then I've helped her. Mm-hmm. And this year I told her I would help her. She was like, I'm thinking about some lotion. I said, well, okay, you make your own money. If you're getting your mother a gift, you're going to have to pay for it. She said, She said, I think I should give her something from my business. I said, okay, well, you can do that. You can give her one of your shirts or whatever. She said, I know the exact shirt. I just need a bag and a card. I said, okay, I'll help you with that. Even though me and her mother aren't, on a friendly type relationship, I did it for Kennedy. And like I said, I think the kid is the most important part.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Sequoia. Hey, Tashanta. I think people should say cordial, at least at a minimum.
Yes.
And even if the other parent is not being quite mature, it's important that we present a good example in front of the child. And it's one thing we don't do, so don't talk bad about the other parent or anything like that, because I just know that will make the child feel lesser as a child, as being a byproduct of the two parents, what have you. So
and I think it's hard for some like exes, because with Kennedy, she's like, I love all of y'all. I want everybody there. And so she feels a certain way if everybody's not there. And I feel like it should be that way too, especially for holidays. I feel like if it's Christmas or Thanksgiving, like, she shouldn't have to come here and gifts here, then go over there and open gifts. Like, everybody can come here.
Yeah. That's the process, though. It's a growing process, and a lot of times people have to be able to mature at their particular times or whatever. But as the child's continue to grow, I think the child will then be able to start making decisions and having their own thought processes about the situation in the households. So a lot of times I think that can be bad if you keep that friction going. Then after a while, that child starts taking on a particular mindset of any particular side of the family or whatever. So for parents, I think it's important that you set the right example for the kid. Behave in a adult manner, of course. And just always put the kid first. That's one thing we always do. We always put Kate and Kennedy first. Matter of fact, you remember we had a discussion yesterday. I saw somebody on Facebook posted something about, well, who eats first? The dad, the kid, and all this kind of stuff. I was like, dude, feed the kids first. As a grown person, you're able to be able to manage yourself. So again, we just always put the kids first.
Sequoia said, I believe if the child is younger, that the father should help the child purchase a gift for the mother.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I did all the years, Kennedy. I would always ask Kennedy, what do you want to get your mom? We go to the store and get it. And one of the things we're teaching them in finances and being business owners is to be able to use your money, of course, and they'll value it better and be able to kind of get gifts that are suitable for that parent and that particular child's budget. So that's what we've done. This was the first year we actually told Kennedy, you called a shot, basically.
I did it for Father's Day last year, because they have to learn the value of money. And that's why, not all the time, but sometimes I make them use their own money. Because if mommy and daddy are buying it, they're like, yeah, I want this, and that. But when I tell Kennedy in particular, you have to use your own money, she'll be like,
that budget
I
kick
think
in.
I'll wait.
That's something like
because the one thing with Kennedy, I'll get her nails done, and she picks at them. And so I told her, if you get your nails done again, you're paying for it. So
she take care of them too.
Yes.
That's like we went to the movies. You know, a lot of times everybody know the movies. The movie may cost $7.50, but the concessions will run you another $30-$40.
Yes.
So we told the kids, we was like, hey, if y'all want to take concessions, you can get your own money, and they tend to go to the dollar store and get some candy, and go inside the movie and enjoy it that way. So they get better understanding of money and become wiser and use their money at higher and best use, pretty much. So yeah, that's real important as far as being able to use money wisely, basically.
So my next question is, married people or blended families, just anybody, what do you do when you disagree in a relationship, and what do you do when you disagree in making parenting choices?
Well, while y'all answering that question, she just put me in a headlock and I concede. No, just kidding. What do you do if you disagree?
I let you think you won.
That's it. I asked my dad, I said, Dad, what is the secret to staying married for over half a century? And he said, that's easy. These simple words. I'm sorry, honey, you're right. So I've mastered that for the most part. Well, mentally I mastered it, but I may not say it all the time. But no, seriously though, my dad, him and my mom have given me the same answer separately on multiple occasions over a period of years. And the answer is very simple. I said, how do you guys keep your marriage on track? They said communication, communication, communication. And it has never changed. If I call my parents right now, hey Shiva, they will say communication, communication, communication. And I think that's the biggest thing. And we talked about last week about the book called 5 Love Languages. That's one of the most important things. Once you understand that person's love language, but you don't just understand your spouse's love language, you got to understand your kids' love languages. Co-workers, business partners, family. Just know everybody's love language. Anybody that you associate with, if you understand the love language, the relationships will be so much more harmonious. That's a good one to start.
You read that.
That's my man. Boom.
So Sean, so he's still working on that part.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working.
What I found is that in marriage too, you have to be able to not only understand but accept each other's differences. Like, give me an example.
I'm a neat freak. She a junk.
No, one thing, Sean in the bathroom, he likes to keep everything around the counter.
I gotta be able to see.
I promise you, he has like 10 bottles of cologne. He has like three things of deodorant. He got like 4 toothbrushes, beard cream.
And I don't let anybody use my toothpaste.
Yeah, he doesn't let anybody use his toothpaste.
I roll from the bottom and they squeeze.
I like to keep my things in a basket under the counter. But that's how he is. Like, I don't want to change him. I love him how he is.
Just how I is.
But you have to accept each other's differences. I think that's hard for this one.
I'm trying.
Because I'm like, look, you're 46, I'm 19, and I'm kidding. But you've been this person your whole life. Like, there's not much changing you're going to do. There's things you can do to better yourself or whatever, but there's not much changing that's going to happen once you're 46, right?
That's right. And Sequoia, that's right. 5 love languages should be a must, a power read for everybody. And I know a lot of pastors that do premarital counseling, and that is a requirement that they have to read 5 love languages before they will actually wed a couple.
Hey, Rolanda, we want y'all on here next time.
Yeah, that's Rolanda. And that's one thing, too, that's funny about Rolanda and I have the exact same personality. It's called a choleric. And then Reggie and Terry have the same personality, which is more sanguine. They're like the people. They don't know any strangers. Everybody's a friend. So, but here's the thing: 2 cholerics typically can't be together, and 2 sanguines, they can be together. They'll be super happy, but they probably won't get a lot done. But I think that's what makes our relationship with Reggie and Rolanda such a powerful relationship. We have so much fun. So you guys see us at the cabin, that's Reggie and Rolanda. That's with us all the time. They travel with us overseas and stuff quite a bit as well.
Yes. Rolando will call me sometimes, like if her and her husband are having a disagreement, she's like, "What's wrong with y'all?" Me and Reggie are both Geminis too. So.
Oh, brother. And I'm a Leo. So
I'm like, well, this is what it is. And she's like, oh, I need to talk to Sean.
Yeah, but we have a ton of fun though. Let's see. What else we got?
So Shanta has something for you.
For
she
me?
said I need to buy you a cart from Michael's and put your stuff in
Oh,
there.
It lasts for about 2 weeks. Now I must admit, I do have a junkie.
I have he has organized mess.
I have an organized mess. All the fellas out here can relate. You have a little pile of stuff. Mine is at the foot of the bed. Everything, I can tell where everything is at. If I have a shirt, I know where it's at. It's usually between the footboard and the mattress somewhere. But I know how to get to it. But that's it though. Otherwise, but you know what? You remember the picture we saw where it said a woman's car.
Yeah.
It was neat, but the house is junky, and vice versa for the man, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But that was pretty accurate though. Yeah, Cheyenne, my Leo, my lioness.
These Leos, honey, you gotta love them.
Yeah.
They just are who they are.
I got one. We talked about holidays a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my train of thought. But with holidays, one of the key things is, like with Kennedy, for an example, we do the even odd year, Wednesday kind of stuff. But so I think this year I have Kennedy the first half of the winter break, and then she goes with her mom the second half. But on Christmas, even though it overlap, on Christmas, whoever already has the first half will wake up with her that morning. Then we rotate off like at 12 o'clock, whatever. So I think that's another thing too, where we're talking about when families can come together and just kind of be able to spend the whole day. Cause I think as a kid, I just remember as a kid growing up, just opening presents, and we go to my grandma's house and we do our rounds. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like, it's gotta be a weird feeling to kind of wake up, then open up some presents, then at lunchtime go open up some other presents and so forth like that.
You know what? It becomes normal. You just get used to it.
Yeah.
You don't understand, but
I know.
Me being in a divorce household, you just get used to it. It becomes your new normal.
Mm-hmm.
Terry, I want you to answer the question. Since you're married, what do you and your spouse do when you disagree?
Good question.
We already talked about this. Tashanta gave us out hers, but who else is on here that's married?
Terry might put her husband in a headlock too.
Rolanda, what do you do when you and your husband disagree?
Call you. That's my girl though. Let's see. Hey Travaria. And what else? It was something else we were going to talk about. Oh, did we talk about having different point of views as a parent as far as like with marriage? Like how, I think you kind of touched on a little bit about how you saw marriage.
Oh, I have a question.
What's that?
What do we do when we disagree on parenting? Like, you may want to punish a kid a certain way, or I may want to.
Well, I think a lot of people on this call probably grew up like me where you got whoopings. I don't whoop the kids. I think each one of them got one good pop for me their entire life. Kennedy did something, I forgot what it was, but I almost cried after I popped her. and Caden went to his room. I went to his room one day, and I just remember I started seeing, because here's the deal. In the dryer, we always find candy wrappers. I was like, where's this dude getting all this candy? But one day, Caden he had the motherload stash of goodies. I kind of wanted to ask him if I could have some. But he had like paper wrappers. He had chip wrappers. I'm talking, this stuff was like piling up for like a week. I'm surprised he didn't have living creatures in the room. But I got on him for that, and I popped him, and of course I felt bad and wanted to cry for that too. But when it comes to disciplining the kids, I think I just got the daddy effect, which I'm sure most moms can relate, where the dad would just kind of look at you from across the room, give you that little evil eye, or just say a few words, maybe with an elevated tone or even with a low tone. And I think every kid understands what that means. So it's like, you know, Terry would tell Caden to do something, and Caden's getting to the point where I think he's a little 30-year-old dude. So he tries to challenge sometimes. So she'll whisper to me like, "Tell him what to do." So as soon as I say Caden, I don't even have to say anything more than his name, and he automatically do it because he knows what his mom had already told him that he was being disobedient. But pretty much I just talk to him for the most part. I think that yields a better result. I think some kids are unruly and may. Well, I'm not gonna say.
Shiva, who's the disciplinarian for your kids? I know when I talk to them, like Sean said, it's like I have to say it at least 2 times. And then when he says something, it's just like, bam, jump up, daddy said it. Like, does anybody else experience that where when the mom says something is different than when daddy says it?
I think when it comes to kids, I think they have the nurturing is always there for the mom, extra nurturing, and they receive most of the discipline from the dads typically. So it's kind of still kind of same with me, you know. Even though I'm grown, I still have reverence for both my parents, and I won't have potty mouth around mom in particular.
Yes.
Dad, sometimes we just kind of kick it like the boys, but I think that goes a long way though, as far as when you grow older, as far as being able to just respect your parents at all times, pretty much. I think that just comes from, you know, how you were disciplined, brought up, and everything like that. But I did get my share of whoopings. I remember I averaged a whooping every day.
I'm sure you deserved them.
I didn't really.
I asked your mom.
And what did she tell you? I got a lot of whoopings for not having good.
She told me.
Well,
lying.
I can tell the whole truth, but a lot of them, I got in trouble for my grades in school. All y'all know I was a C student, wanted to see my way out. And I remember that one day I told her, I said, "Mom, whooping me is not going to yield better grades." And she thought about it and she said, "You know what? And plus I'm getting tired of doing it." So I've just never been a big fan of getting whoopings or spankings. I don't think time out is cool either.
You know, time out, why isn't it? I think taking away things.
Yeah, you take, cool. Because like I tell Kaden, for men anyway, the biggest way to teach boys, men lessons is through pain and loss. Either physical pain, we tend to respond, or if we lose something. That's usually the only way you're going to get a man to really respond. When you take something from him, for a teenager, he loses his ability or privilege to drive. Like with Caden, you take away his game, his toys, stuff like that. That's what really gets to him, his iPad, for an example. So that, and you know, it's kind of like a little kid. You keep telling them, "Hey, the stove is hot. The stove is hot." And when they touch it, they'll find out through pain that the stove is hot.
Talk about when you said your sister punished your nephew.
Oh yeah, my for some of you guys that know my nephew, I have a nephew. He is 18 now.
Or no?
Well, when he was, as early as 3 or 4 years old, we found out that he was musically inclined. To date, as far as I know, but I'm sure it's probably more. I know he's self-taught in more than 14 different instruments, and we're talking hard instruments. This kid can play the harp, the ukulele, drums, trumpet, piano, and he actually was invited at person by Herbie Hancock for playing the piano. But with with Jalen played the keyboard when he was like maybe 9 or 10, and he's been a maestro ever since. You can tell him a song, he'll go listen to it 1 or 2 times, and he'll play it without music. I think he's just learned how to write music or read music about a year ago. But with Jalen, he got in trouble for something, so my sister took his keyboard from him. And Jalen walked downstairs. He made a couple trips from downstairs, upstairs to downstairs to the kitchen. He had an armful of glasses. He came back. He had some pitcher of water, and he had some spoons. And my sister's like, "What is he doing?" So a few minutes later, she heard him adjusting the glasses filled with water. He pour a little bit out, tune it, adjust, and he just started making music with the spoons and the glasses of water. So my sister just broke down and cried because she realized that was a gifting that he had and that she punished him by that. But, you know, he did respond because that was pain of loss. But she also realized that was his gift, so she knew never to punish him utilizing his music like that again. Yeah, but he's a bad boy. I mean, he can play stuff. I love Brian McKnight. So I said, "Jalen, play this song." So I sent him a Brian McKnight song, and he'll come back like about 5 minutes later and say, "Okay, Uncle Sean, I got it," and he'll sit there and play it, just like he wrote it.
And I had a wonderful Mother's Day, by the way.
That's right.
We went to a concert on Saturday, and I had fun.
People want to know what was in the Coke bottle. Why don't you tell them what was in the Coke bottle?
Coke, babe. Coke.
And the lady behind us said, "I got a can of Coke, and my Coke looked different than yours." She said our Coke was much lighter than hers. And people noticed in the video also that I still had a half bottle of Coke, and yours was almost empty.
I think you set me up.
I did.
You did.
I sure did. Did you have fun though?
Yes.
Took you backstage, met some of the guys, had some good fun.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Father's Day coming up soon.
Oh, and I got this cute necklace for Mother's Day. And some perfume. It smells so good.
Yes, it does.
I just want to wear it all the time, but
Cool.
Sean told me it was special.
Well, let's close out with this one subject. Let's talk about exes. How do you deal with exes, or do you communicate with your ex? And how does that dynamic work?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Me and my ex are fine. I mean, my son is a lot older than Kennedy, so DJ is almost 16. If I'm coming to pick him up, I'm like, DJ, I'm on my way. But I have to realize sometimes when he get in the car, I'm like, does your dad know you're leaving? We're all already down the street, and I'm like, he knows you're not coming home tonight, right? But we're fine. I'm just like, I'm picking DJ up, or we're going out of town. I will remember to tell him that we went to the mountains for spring break, and I mean, he doesn't give me any strife. We don't. It's just. I don't know what to say.
Easy breezy.
Yeah, it's easy breezy. He'll text me like, hey, what was that wine you used to drink? And I know he wants the wine for another woman. But I don't care. I'm like, it was pink Moscato. Next.
Yeah. And that's one thing, like my ex and I, it's just sometimes, I'm always cool. And just depends on which way the wind is blowing on her side, as far as if she'll be communicable, or, you know, I like to update her with stuff, like if Kennedy's doing an event, with a speaking event, which is having fun or whatever. I like to send her pictures, just let her, or video clips or whatever, just to show her what Kennedy's doing and everything. Sometimes she receives it and likes it, and other times she's like, don't send me this stuff. So, dude, I don't know. But that's just one thing you have to just learn to adjust when having a blended family.
Yeah.
And being able to communicate, and to still know what that person's love language is or was, or some of the things that may be negative triggers. You know, it's no need to try to irritate or aggravate the person. So.
I think men and women are just different too. Like with your sister, you're dealing with the woman who's the ex. I'm dealing with the guy. He's like,
whatever.
Like even DJ's like, my dad is going on this date with somebody he says is co-worker. And I'm just like, oh cool. Have you met her yet? Do you like her? It's like, yeah, we went out to eat, or we're going to the movies. I'm like, good. We don't have issues.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So did you want to answer to everybody your big question? How do you solve disagreements?
How do I solve disagreements?
Other than making me think I'm right.
I don't like to argue, so I say what I have to say. Sometimes I'll come downstairs and have my time alone, but Sean's love language can be a little clingy sometimes, because he's texting me like, come back upstairs.
Yeah, I asked if she mad, and I was like, I don't care, then come on back upstairs.
I'm like, no.
And I guess
Let me finish being mad.
My outlet, if I'm just like really irritated, I'll just go to the gym and take it out on the weights. But the biggest thing is, I think Tara and I, we've never ever really been mad more than about 10 minutes. I mean, I can go like to 0 to 100 of being angry or upset, and 10 minutes later I'll do something just to irritate her, to make her laugh or something like that, and we're back on to it, because time is too short. You know, we don't have time to be dilly-dallying around being upset on stuff that, you know, is it going to matter a year from now? Is it going to matter 5 years from now? If the answer is no need to be mad about it. So we just keep it moving. Keep it moving. and I can always take her out to get some wings, and I know we're good.
Yep. And then I just get even. Like, I'll paint his toenails while he sleep.
I'm still gonna get you back for that. For all y'all that remember when she painted my toenails while I was asleep. And then I didn't notice it for like a whole day. I didn't notice it until like that evening. And she just started giving me a foot massage out of the blue. I was like, this is weird. And she said, does that feel good? And she's massaging my foot. And I was like, yeah, it's feeling nice. And she held it up a little higher so I could really see it. And what color? It was like a crazy color.
It was
purple
like an aqua blue.
Yeah, but payback.
So yeah, I do things like that. That makes me feel better.
Mm-hmm. But as y'all see, we have a lot of fun.
He likes for me to make him tea, so I might put something in it he don't really like.
Like a laxative.
No, like the green tea.
Oh, that wasn't
or he doesn't like when I fold his clothes in a Navy way. You know, when you're in the military, Navy, we have a small space, and so when we're in boot camp, they teach us how to fold clothes to fit that small space, and he hates it. So if he makes me mad, I'll just fold his clothes the Navy way.
And then she'll fold it with the print on the inside of the shirt, so I don't know what shirt it is unless I have to unfold it totally, and then fold it back the Air Force way. Trevor, my love language is words of affirmation as well, and Caden, that's his love language.
Yes.
Caden will say, Daddy, am I the smartest kid you know? I'll say, yes, you're the smartest boy I know. And he say, I know, I just wanted you to say it.
She said hers is quality time. I think mine is physical touch or quality time.
Yeah, a combination.
Yeah. Probably more physical touch.
You feel better? Well, anyway, we had a great time. We had to get Caden ready for bed. He's still overcoming. And he has a speaking event this weekend. So we'll be putting out that flyer here probably in the next 30 minutes, actually. So we got to kind of go over some more of his talk. It's a little changed up there, expecting a few changes from what he's used to doing. But that's one thing about both of the kids, Kennedy and Caden. You know, we keep them ready. So you guys know if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So we're really excited about that opportunity coming up for him. Both the kids got a few events coming up. He and Kennedy and Caden are both going to be doing an event with, I don't know if Kennedy's going to be that weekend, but Caden has an event coming up with Demaryius Thomas, who plays for the world champions, New England Patriots. So he has an event there, and they collaborate in a deal there where he's doing his financial flashcards. We're going to be moving into the activity books and some other things too with that project. So we're super excited about that. What else going on?
The Gen Z conference, Saturday. We'll be there in LaGrange at Great Wolf Lodge. Also, the Raising a Mogul Summit.
June 25th through the
27th through the
29th. 30th. Yeah, that's right. I'm getting it together, y'all.
Y'all see why he needs me.
I do.
But Sean is the president for the Atlanta chapter of Raising a Mogul. And this conference is a family conference. You can bring your kids, and it's just going to be talking about raising a mogul. Like, if your kids are on a business, some of the kids are into modeling, acting, and so it's teaching you how to deal with the social media, how to deal with the finances of it, the back end, the budgeting. There are a ton of speakers there. You're speaking, right?
Yep. I will be. So it's gonna be.
There's a pitch competition for the kids. What else?
Workshops, breakout workshops, and it's a great opportunity for the parents, because see, a lot of times, you know, our children can have businesses, but the parents may not come from a business background. But it's kind of like, well, I think I know what I'm doing, but you know, it's equally, if not what's more important, that the parents learn business acumen, financial literacy, stuff like that, so that they can run a successful business for the kids. So that's the purpose for Raising a Mogul, is that we're all parent managers who are in a position to help others. We do live training, have speakers come in, doing workshops online. It's incredible. So I highly recommend that.
There's a lot of opportunities that our kids wouldn't have if they weren't attached to the groups. Magazines, interviews, just
everything.
Yes, training, like Tamara did a training on speaking last week, and that's what
Yeah.
this year has been. Kaden's had how many speaking gigs?
Countless.
Yes, and so her giving that training helped me a lot. She did it last week, but I saw some things that I needed to change for this week and future speaking gigs.
And I've tweaked things in my speaking business for my speaking events as well. Hey Ashley, hey Belinda.
So those are the kind of things you're gonna learn at the summit,
Yeah.
and it's priceless.
They've been taking the kids to California in August. They've been nominated for an event out there. We'll talk about that a little later. So we got a lot of stuff going on this summer. And but most importantly, what we do, even though the kids run successful businesses, they are still kids first and foremost. We do a lot of cool stuff, and we're going to be making a little announcement here in the next 3 weeks. So y'all stay tuned for that. That's going to be real good. So guess we better go ahead and get Caden ready, because you know, if not, he will be up there doing his own thing and try to bypass, like most boys, bypass taking a bath.
I'm gonna get you ready for bed too.
Okay.
That's one of the things I do too. We don't get along. I have to put Sean to bed.
She'll tell me to take a nap. Just take a nap for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, wake me up, because either I want to go to the gym or something I want to do.
I say, I'll wake you up.
And it's the next morning when I wake up. So
And he has a whole better attitude, right?
always. I have a great attitude.
You do.
I do. I love you back.
Hey, Ashley. Hi, Belinda.
Yep. So it has been real. We look forward to seeing you guys here next week. And we're going to see if we can get Reggie and Rolanda on next week. That's going to be fun. Y'all going to like them. They are like the most hilarious couple. We have so much fun with them, because we're real selective of who we travel with, who we like to hang with and do stuff with, because, you know, your sphere of influence, that circle, that top circle of 3 to 5 is what life is all about, and that's going to determine who you are and where you're going. So on that note, we will see all you guys real soon, and stay posted. We'll keep you guys up to date with any activities going on with the Harris family.
And we'll have the kids back here next week.
Yep. And we'll record from somewhere a cool place. We'll decide where. Well, anyway, guys, take care. We'll see y'all later.